I call to order the Saline County Commission Public Forum and Meeting for July 19, 2016 to order. I would ask everyone to join me in a stand and join me in a flag salute and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Shadwick?
Here.
Commissioner Guile?
Here.
Commissioner Price?
Here.
Commissioner Larson?
Here.
And Commissioner Smith?
Here.
All right, we'll move next to public forum where citizens may speak on county government, usually limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to come forward at this time?
Karen Shade, 11 Wisconsin. As we were discussing upstairs, some unusual things are being said about the Expo Center question in the debates. And yesterday I went to the City Commission to ask for some clarification. And I learned the lease agreements are available on the city's website under City County Agreements, and it's under the Kenwood Park File tab, and it's known as the Kenwood Park Lease. The 10-year lease expires on August 31st, 2019, which was specifically designed to be after the 2019 fair. Jason Gage said the county could renew the lease 4 times for up to a year at a time. And when I went to read it, I didn't find that clause, but I also caught him off guard, so I don't quite know. I don't understand. I'm not the best person to be reading leases. And I found that the lease didn't seem to identify a payment amount other than that the county would pay the city the usual rate anytime the county used the Bicentennial Center. I expected Jason Gage to say something along the lines that the city wanted to wait until 2018 to look at extending the lease. That is something I thought I heard circulated, but that's not what he said. So I'm glad I asked. And he knew the county had prepared a list of possible improvements. When I asked if the city was considering other uses for the property, I again heard statements that surprised me. And I found in Section 2 of the Master Plan for the Smoky Hill River Renewal Project that the old municipal pool, Tri-Rivers Rodeo Grounds, and the County Exposition Center are considered redevelopment opportunities. And it appeared like the lease outlined a 7-decade commitment to holding a fair and to long-held ambitions to develop a hotel convention center. Anyhow, going back last week, I was horrified when I heard potential county commission candidates say, and I quote, "The city should," unquote, "renew the lease at the Expo Center." First of all, this is a decision the City Commission makes and not the county. And second, for voters who see the need to strengthen city and county relationships, some of the candidates who boldly declared what the city should do have been the ones who've also complained bitterly when the city told the county how to deal with a cracked health department roof. I'm reminded of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is most concerning that when asked to identify what the candidates would do if the city chose not to renew the Expo Center lease, few candidates had a meaningful response. And as background, I know some of you, this was discussed upstairs, but the county owns property on East Well Road. It's incorrect to refer to that as the future site of the Expo Center. That's not been decided. West Jackson with the Land Institute has expressed some interest in that property for that purpose. Others in North Carolina are interested in if the Expo Center ever moved, maybe they'd like to be considered. And if the Expo Center ever moved, there would be the cost of moving the buildings or replacing the buildings. And to me, neither Ag Hall, the rodeo arena, or the 4-H building don't seem to be very portable. Perhaps barns and that can be moved, but at their age, it might be cheaper to replace them than move them. So if a person had to guess what it would cost to move the Expo Center, this is just my wild guess, but I'm thinking it would be $6 to $15 million. And then the county would have to decide on how to fund this project. And at the same time, if the city didn't extend the lease, the city might have a project it was looking to fund. And we have the unsolved problems with the jail overcrowding. There's not much been said about the need for a 4th judge and a 4th court room. That would be expensive. There might be school districts, rural fire departments, and other taxing authorities who'd need money. And then at the same time, we have to keep in mind that the state might be looking for ways to fund K-12 education and fix holes in the safety net created by the Brownback experiment.
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you right here. You're talking big, like maybe an hour-long discussion type of thing.
Well, no, I'm more than 2/3 through.
Well,
I understand. But
these are all things that we've. I mean, the expo. I mean, that's a huge discussion. So
Right.
you're bringing up good ideas, and I'm glad that you're keeping the candidates to point on that. So.
And the biggest thing, to summarize, it's like, I seem to have thought that this 2018 was when the city was willing to take it up. They're willing to consider it sooner.
Right.
And so I'm really delighted to hear that. I think it's going to take a hero to step forward and help negotiate past some of the past hurts and find a solution, because in my point of view, it's really in the taxpayer's best interest if things can be worked out and the lease can be extended.
Thank you.
And Karen, I would like for you to, if you get a chance, go to the county website on the Saline TV,
Okay.
salinatv.org. Go to the county website, go to special events or something other than our regular meetings. Go back to, you'll find it because there's very few on there. And we had a meeting in this room over here about the health department. And during that time, Mr. Harding had just came on, and he made a very clear statement, and I know that it was coming from Jason Gage, that we need to just get out of the health department business. And go back and see how some of this stuff, other stuff has worked, to understand that a lot of it comes from Jason. It doesn't come from the commissioners.
Well, and that's why all I can do is ask and
Well, watch that
hopefully
video, and it's an hour and a half video. It's a long video. And
I
then
saw it just recently.
And then
So
you go to ours the next day when we voted on the stuff, how it turned out, and it's just like we're having a little misunderstanding here, and we had a misunderstanding with the health department, but it has worked out, and I think we can get this to work out.
I'd like to move on. I appreciate your comments. Thank you very much.
I hope so too.
Anyone else would like to come forward today? Seeing none, I'll move to regular business. Item number 1.
Approval of the agenda for the forum as presented today.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda for the public forum as presented.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 2.
Approval of county commission minutes for July 12th, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the county commission minutes for July the 12th, 2016 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3.
We have a proclamation declaring July 18th to the 22nd as Crisis Intervention Team Week. Have Carol Vire here representing that group. I believe she's going to read that proclamation.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to come. I hope that you all are aware that this week in Salina there's an important event taking place. It's a 5-day training for police officers and sheriff's officers that is helping them to learn how to go into emergency calls where there is a mental health crisis and use calmer methods to help diffuse the situation instead of escalating the situation. And therefore, the proclamation that I'm asking for signature on states, whereas officers of the Saline County Sheriff's Department stand watch over our citizens, selflessly risking their lives to protect individuals, families, neighborhoods, and property against crime. And whereas it is important that all citizens recognize the duties, responsibilities, hazards, sacrifices, and training of local law enforcement agencies. And whereas it is acknowledged that overt use of force is not the best intervention for every situation that calls for police action. And whereas the week of July 18 through 22, 2016 has been set aside as a week of crisis intervention training for Saline County Sheriff's officers. Now therefore, I, Monty Shadwick, as chair of the Saline County Kansas Commission, do hereby declare July 18 through 22, 2016 as Crisis Intervention Team Week in Saline County, Kansas, and hereby publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in our community in their effort to incorporate multiple systems of care in crisis situations. And then in witness thereof, I have hereunto set my signature in the seal of Saline County, Kansas, this 19th day of July, 2016.
Okay, thank you. Would you repeat what you said earlier about what other events are going on? I'm sorry.
Do you want to talk, Thea? You want me to? There's a week-long training.
Right.
And police officers, sheriff's deputies. It's being taught by Lane Mangles, who was one of the first people in the United States to be trained to do this crisis intervention training, plus a gentleman from Central Kansas Mental Health Center and a gentleman from Central Kansas Foundation, the Drug Treatment Center. So they will be in 5 days of training. Thursday, they're going to Larned, to the mental health hospital there.
Okay.
And then on Friday afternoon at 3:30, there will be a public event, so that sort of a graduation and an announcement to the community with the media there and those kinds of things. Very important, very impressive at this moment in our country's history for our police officers to learn how to key things down instead of keying things up.
Very topical. Very, very good.
Very wonderful. And I apologize. I thought Don was making a copy for you to sign, and he thought I was making a copy. So he gave me a copy, and then I wrote on it. So I'll have to bring you one, Monty, to sign, and
We
I
can do
apologize.
that. You do that at any time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion here? Or Don?
Well, that one right there doesn't have the seal. If you'd want to go ahead, it's for the chairman.
I wrote on it.
Oh, you wrote on it?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
she's saying.
Sorry.
I am available to sign any
Get
time.
us,
Don't worry
yeah,
about
just
it.
get us another copy and we'll do it.
And I think, did you have a comment, Commissioner Guile?
No,
Okay.
I was just going to make a...
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we declare July the 18th through the 22nd, 2016 as Crisis Intervention Team Week.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you very much for coming by. We'll get back with you on that signature. Item number 4.
It's Resolution 16-2200, reappointment of Saline County Committee for Reducing Jail Population Members. And that Rita Deister, our county administrator, have comments on that resolution.
Well, time travels fast because the committee was established October the 27th, 2015. And at that time, we staggered the appointments, 2 people on 1 year, 2 people for 2 years, and 2 people for 3 years, so that when their terms were up, we would then start reappointing them so they wouldn't all be reappointed at the same time. So Michelle Martin, who's presently serving, and Richard Buse are up for their terms up, and the resolution is asking that they be reappointed for another term.
Questions or comments? Public comment? Action from the commission?
Mr. Chair, I move we reappoint Michelle Martin and Richard Buse to a 3-year term on the Saline County Committee for Reduction Jail Population Advisory Board. Resolution 16-2200 to begin August the 1st of 2016 and end July 31st of 2019.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 5.
Bid award for RCB construction package. Let's see, this is RFA. It's not on your agenda. It's RFA 176-16, and have a report by Neil Cable, County Engineer.
Mr. Cable.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This item for your consideration is to discuss and take appropriate action on a Saline County Road and Bridge Department Engineering Division request to award a contract for the furnishing of all materials, equipment, and labor and doing all the work, whatever kind necessary, to construct 11 reinforced concrete box drainage conveyance structures. We opened the bids for this series of projects on June 30th at 4 p.m. and we received 3 bids. And those bids are summarized for the 11 sites in that table there on your request for action, and I can read through each site and bid or dispense with that at your pleasure.
Dispense with that unless there are certain questions on a certain project, and I don't
Right.
mean to gloss over this. And
No.
I know sometimes when people see 614,000 and we vote on it quickly, I mean,
Right.
we've worked on this for a while.
Yes, sir.
Your staff's worked on this for a long time. You
Yeah.
gave us a nice update last week in the study session.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, to put together these boxes, we've been doing this for the last decade, and we're probably pushing 150 of these that we replaced around the county. And like you say, actually this day culminates probably a year and a half worth of
Right.
field work and design and stuff. So yeah, you're right.
And
There's a whole lot more.
I'm going to
than
reiterate that point because I
piece of
heard on the radio from some candidates that sometimes we just do things really quickly,
Right.
and we do it maybe in a formal setting quickly,
Right.
But there's a lot of background and work on
Yes, sir.
by your staff and reviewing with us that we've gotten to this point. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
glad you mentioned that.
Just to go on there real quick, we did get 3 bids. They ranged from a low of $614,614.16 to a high of just about $850,000. The engineer's estimate was closer to the low end bid at $650,000. And we reviewed all the bids and confirmed all the numbers. So the alternatives for action today are to accept the staff recommendation, reject all bids and rebid, or other options as the commission sees fit. The staff recommendation is to award a contract to all sites to the low bidder, which is Reese Construction, for
No,
$614,000.
Riley.
Reese.
Reese.
It's Reese. Oh,
Reese
okay.
Construction.
Yeah. Okay. $614,614.16. And in terms of budget impact, the funds for this project will come out of Fund 125, which is our Road and Bridge Special Bridge Construction account. It's also called the 2 mil account, kind of colloquially. We have a current unencumbered balance in that account of $735,083.94, and if the commission elects to award this contract, we'll have a remaining balance of $120,469.78.
Questions right now?
Well, we've done about between 25 and 40 of these in the past 3 years.
Yes.
It's we're gaining really good ground. We gained a lot of ground in the last.
We like to think so too.
Huh?
We like to think so too.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the foresight of a past commission to set aside those 2 mills.
Yes. That's
Very appreciative of their work doing that, and it makes things easier for us.
yes,
so.
sir.
All right. Further questions, comments? Public comment. Bring back the commission for action.
Mr. Chair, I move that we award the bid for the Reese Construction Package, RCB, in the amount of $614,614.16 for all 11 project locations, and this is RFA 176-16.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Item number 6.
It's request for action 179-16. It's the jail video surveillance system. Have Captain Brent Melander here from the Sheriff's Office, and Brad Bowers, our IT Director, is also here.
Morning, Captain.
Good morning. Of course, you've already read the request for action on this issue. I'd also like to include the following, just for general information. Currently, the Saline County Sheriff's Office uses the DigiFort Professional Surveillance Client Video System for our surveillance videos in our jail. We purchased and installed it in May of 2015 with Wilson Security Solutions. We have 32 cameras, of which 2 of them are currently test cameras, meaning that the 2 test cameras are better quality. You can zoom, pan, tilt, so we're testing those out, and we've really enjoyed them. The commission approved $40,000 to use for the Technology Improvement Program, the TIP. We would like to upgrade and not replace the DigiFort system using the TIP funds. By doing so, it allows us to add 15 cameras to the jail, and some of those we would replace older cameras that are no longer good, have a blurry vision. We'd also add 1 network video recorder to accommodate the extra cameras. This will also include installation. And all this comes in below the $40,000, comes in at $38,600. Currently, we only have cameras in the female cells and day rooms. If approved, we'd be adding cameras to the cells, day rooms of all the male inmate cells except for 2. We'd be replacing a camera in the kitchen that currently only covers approximately 60% of that facility where we have inmates working with a outside provider. And some of these will be the 180-degree view. Some of them will be the 360-degree view where we can pan, tilt. And we would like to remain with DigiFort because of the quality of the program and the equipment. It's easy to use. It's quick to use. It's very reliable. The customer service with Wilson Security has been very good in resetting cameras when the power goes out, mounting views, changing things around. And we also already have the base system, which you need to use the DigiFort to upgrade. Others using the video recordings would be the Sheriff's Office, both with patrol and corrections, the Saline Police Department, the Highway Patrol, district and municipal courts. For court proceedings, they ask us to record and produce on DVDs documents for courts for testimony. In the end, it comes down to following issues: safety. It's a safety to staff, safety to other agencies that use our facilities when they come in, and safety to inmates in the community. Security, although not designed to replace a live person, it gives us an extra set of eyes within the jail where we may not be able to be at all times, and it helps us monitor the daily activity in the jail, the sally port, and outside the facility to some parts. And liability will help provide video evidence in the case of grievances or lawsuits that are brought by inmates that are complaining on corrections staff, as well as assisting in documenting a thorough criminal investigation. If somebody comes and says that we did not do a thorough criminal investigation, we can go back and rely on the video a little bit and show them that we actually have video for this and we did do a thorough investigation. So I would like you to approve that so we can do the upgrade.
What's the life of this?
I can tell you that we have cameras in the jail today that were of 1997 vintage. So I expect these to have a 7 to 10 year lifespan.
7 to 10?
Yep.
Okay.
My other question is, since you're adding some new cameras, you know, the main office there, the nucleus where you've got the screens, I should say.
The control?
The control part. Because you're adding these extra cameras, are you going to expand what you can see on those monitors, or do you need to also expand those monitors to be able to see all these cameras at any given time?
The DigiFort on the screen, you can divide it up into several boxes.
Right.
You can do 1 big screen, you can do 2 screens, you can do multiple screens. So as a pod officer, you're going to want to monitor particularly probably 3 or 4 videos in your area. You're not going to want to monitor what's going on in booking. You're not going to want to monitor what's going on in control. But in control, we have a big flat screen TV that's broken up into.
Right.
And that's actually one of our test cameras that has the pan and the tilt. So we can see people coming and going out of the front entrance of the jail and the back of the jail as well.
Okay. I wondered if that was going to add more little squares onto that
It
screen.
yeah, it depends on what they want to monitor. They may not want to monitor a particular area because we already have people down there monitoring that.
Okay. All right, good.
And as far as our motherboard, didn't we just replace that just shortly ago, just a year or 2 ago? At the same time that, yeah.
We did replace, some of the
thought
door
we did.
system. It's a touch screen or.
Right.
And we've
So it
actually
made it
gone to the mouse system is what most of the time
It made it a
people
lot
use.
more convenient to see, or to shuffle around the whole building. Yeah.
And we
I
don't want to
remember that.
rely on cameras 100%. They're just to augment our people on the ground.
I agree, and I'm very supportive of it. I guess I was originally surprised that there were holes that weren't being filmed, and
Yeah.
so we're, you know, especially the men's day sales,
Yes.
and I can see how that could be a problem, so we're very supportive.
Thank you.
We have any public comment on this?
I have
Or you have a question?
I assume this was a project that putting out for bids wasn't practical or realistic.
I'm sorry.
For getting other bids wasn't realistic or practical. on this
Basically, we
project.
have the Digifort system, the base system, and that would, you know, you can't go out and add like an RCA system to it. What do they call it? It's basically, I don't know if it's incompatible or what, but we want to stick with that particular system. We don't want to be marrying 5 or 6 different companies together because that causes problems, technical problems.
I think we had to do that on our motherboard because of that also.
All right, we have any public comment on this? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we upgrade the Saline County Jail video surveillance system as recommended by staff on RFA 179-16.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Passes 5-0. Captain, all right, thank you for coming. Item number 7.
This is RFA 178-16. It's a data center hardware upgrade with Jason Tiller, Health Department Director, and also Brad Bowers, IT Director.
Hello again, Brad.
Hello.
Hi, Jason.
Good morning. The request for action that you have in front of you for consideration is for doing a hardware refresh in the Health Department data center. Today we have one VMware HP server that runs 3 virtual machines that is the Health Department network. These virtual servers run the domain for the Health Department, the email server, and a utility server that pushes out Windows patches and is our antivirus server. We had an additional VMware host that failed hard and is not repairable. This server was used to run the Health Department backups. We received 3 quotes for this hardware refresh. CDWG quoted $1,758.96 for a Synology NAS device and $12,083.50 for the server hardware. HP Enterprise only quoted the servers, and their quote came in at $10,126.58. ISG Technologies quoted $10,102.58 for the HP servers and $1,953 for the Synology NAS. The NAS device will store data generated by the Health Department applications. This project was not budgeted in the 2016 budget and will be paid for out of Health Department grant/CIP operational funds. Alternatives for action is to approve the request, deny the request, and send staff back for more research. Staff recommendation: with the failure of one of the VMware hosts on the Health Department network, refreshing the hardware becomes more critical and does not allow time for properly budgeting for this project. If we have a failure on the remaining VMware host, the Health Department network will be down hard until we get them back up and functioning, which would require the purchase of the new hardware anyway. In order to accomplish that, staff recommends proceeding with this purchase. Staff recommends purchasing the servers from Integrated Solutions Group and the Synology NAS from CDWG.
All right. Questions?
Budget?
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
this is coming out of, yeah.
So the budget, or the project totals for those 2 devices come out to $11,861.54. We currently have $126,555 in our Health Department Capital Improvement Fund, which after this project, if approved, will leave a balance of $114,693.46.
What was the total amount of what we're approving today?
For those two devices, the one from CDWG and the one from ISG Technologies, comes out to,
Because I'm just comparing what's on our sheet, and it didn't look right.
About 22,000 on.
Yeah.
It's
If it's 10,102 and 1283.
1758.
oh, I thought we were talking about
No, you're
each
only
device.
doing one,
It just
and
didn't
then you're
add
doing the
up
other
right.
here.
Not the way that reads.
It says 1,758, and then that's 10,000.
Total of 12,083.50.
Yep.
Yeah, doing those numbers real quick before we stepped up here.
Okay, so the total amount is 1283.50, right?
So those are combined, the two together makes
Yep.
it 12.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're
but-
10,102.58 plus 1,758.96.
Okay.
12,083.50.
Just had enough.
Okay, got it.
Further questions?
Okay.
Public comment? Commission action?
Mr. Chair, I move that we purchase the servers from ISG Technologies and the Synology NAS from CDWG for the amount of $12,083.50, RFA 178-16, as recommended by staff.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Moving on to other business, if I can, Jason, I'm going to ask you for something here soon. We are scheduled to meet again with Mr. Teller at 1 o'clock for some short business. Would it be okay for the commission if we just went upstairs for a short amount of time? I think to be fair to the media's time and to our public's time and to everybody else. Thoughts?
Does that work for you, Jason? Okay, good.
Thoughts from my other commissioners?
Agree.
Yep.
Okay.
So
With that being said, we will meet up in about 5 minutes from now, take a little break, and we will meet for meeting number 3. Do we have any other announcements today?
I'd like to read a decision from the U.S. Supreme Court, a unanimous decision of 1844. And they stated, "Why may not the Bible, especially the New Testament, without note or comment, be read and taught as divine revelation in schools, its general precepts expounded, its evidences explained, and its glorious principles inculcated? Where can the purest principles of morality be learned so clearly or so perfectly as from the New Testament?"
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
5-0 passes. We will meet upstairs at 20 till 12.